What happened? He started back his slave, his school.
Shah just usually pick him up. Shah said he would meet the class tonight now, so Shah a late from his slave. All right.
Yeah, a little bit late from his slave. No school. Okay, but is he on his way or he waiting on the young man?
I think he's the young man when he coming.
Okay, so somebody just check on the brother, see if he's on his way, or if he's waiting on the young man. All right. If he's waiting on the young man, I mean, really, you know, that brother should have been ready already. All right. Okay. Tonight we're gonna go into Gary Griffith and the Mark of the Beast. All right. It's very important to fully understand what is going on with what is going on in the country, especially with him. You understand me? That's imperative. I mean, as brothers who's soon going to be teaching, you're gonna have to, if you can't explain it, you're gonna have to at least be able to correlate the shit in your head. You're gonna have to be able to correlate exactly what is the situation there. All right. Hold on. I think I do a piece of craziness here, Kim. Hold on 1 second. Mad thing. All right. I think we're in the game there now. Yeah, so like I say, it is important to make sure, you know, we fully understand what's going on with, you know, that whole move in Trinidad, all right? Because it's very much like what's going on with the rest of the world. It's very much like you know, the uprisings in Venezuela, Cuba, France, everything like that. It's in the same line. You understand? It's in the same line, it's in the same train of thought. You all with me? Akim, you all there or no?
Yeah, I'm
Some line hearing you all, man. Come on. What's going on with the vote?
Okay, sir.
Go ahead.
No, it's because I didn't talk, but I was the last thing I said. I don't pay attention.
Okay, I'm saying it's what's going on in Trinidad, even though it's on a smaller scale, it's keeping in line with the whole turning of the world, with what's going on worldwide right now. If you want, you can move the chairs even closer. The whole front row could come forward and slightly to the right. Slightly to the right, just so that the brothers on your left don't get cut out of the whole thing. All right? So hearing everybody. It's keeping up with the whole movement of the world, all right? It's keeping up with everything. So that's what we want to go into tonight. Also, anybody want to retake the test? All right. Who's the man? Makar, Yakar. Okay. Oh, it's 5 now. Who's the extra man? Oh shit. Go ahead, Makar. Go ahead,
Okay, sir. They can take that, sir?
God damn. I ain't got no classes. Just be me and got one. Good night. Okay. Do you feel ready to take the test or you're not ready? If you're not ready, you know what I mean, you're not ready. Yeah. You go along, but are you ready to take it? Damn, y'all should have told me. I'd have had class some other time. All right, all who ready to take it? All right, let's go. Set them up, Galawan. You'll have 2 minutes. You'll have 2 minutes, Galawan, to get set up. so we could continue with this, all right? 2 minutes. All right? 2 minutes. So what you hold on for a second, all right? All right. Galawan, you don't have to give everybody individually. Just leave the pile of questions there. I believe you can't have a pile of paper, and everybody will just grab it from that. You're just filling up front. The rest of men. All right, let's go. Let's go. All right. All right, so off the break. Any questions?
Yes, I just want to know if you have any scriptures showing what age Christ had died at.
Oh boy, I think he was 33. I forget how to check it. I know there was just about 3 years in between when he started and when he died. Okay, I know it's 33. I think it's just about 33. All right. Give me a second. I might have to jog my memory a bit on actually how it was estimated. All right. What was said to give that indication. I'll give some time on it. I'm gonna get back with you on that. All right. I think it was just about 33 when he was crucified. I think his entire ministry, all his entire work, the duration of it was just 3 years. It was just 3 years, the duration of his work.
Yeah. I was just trying to remember some concerning Mary now. I heard the general mention something that she was a Levite now.
Right.
And more or less, well, when people now coming along with the Immaculate Conception now, they try to say that well, Christ is a Judite and Mary is a Judite. So more or less, it's just more or less get the explanation that that Mary was a Levite.
Okay. Mary, who was Mary's cousin? Famous in the Bible. It was not her cousin. It was who? Her sister? All right. Who was it?
Elizabeth.
Exactly. And what nationality was her?
I believe from the tribe of Levi.
She was a Levite, right? That's when wait, is in Luke when she went to visit her sister or her cousin. Is her sister?
Cousin.
Her cousin. And it says, she also has a child that has the Holy Spirit. And I was talking about John the Baptist. Right? You know where it is?
Luke chapter.
Luke like 2 or 3 or something like that. Or it might be 1. Bear with me.
Luke chapter 1, verse 20. Let me see what it's telling you. And when Zacharias saw him, he was troubled, and fear fell upon him. But the angel said unto him, fear not, Zacharias.
Where you are? Where you are? Yeah, say where you are.
Luke chapter 1, verse 12.
All right.
I believe it's 36. I believe it's 36. So like yes.
Okay. So the
I read a little higher, come down.
A little bit higher, right? Okay, I think it's over there. Go ahead.
Luke chapter 1, verse 36. Right? And behold, thy cousin Elizabeth, she hath also conceived a son in her old age. And this is the 6th month with her, who she was called barren.
Hold on 1 second now. Hold on 1 second. You have some chapter? What's going on? Okay, I'm in class right now. You want to talk to me after? All right, you have some chapter. Yeah, go ahead up.
Luke chapter 1 verse 36.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, thy cousin Elizabeth, she had also conceived a son in her old age. And this is the 6th month with her, who was called barren.
Mm-hmm.
For with God, nothing shall be impossible. And Mary.
Skip up. Where does it say? It's hold on. What verse you at?
Verse 36.
Okay. All right, read from the top again.
Luke chapter 1 verse 36. And behold, thy cousin Elizabeth, she had also conceived a son in her old age.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the 6th month with her, who was called barren. Right.
So Elizabeth was her cousin, her family member, right? Right. John the Baptist was a Levite. Elizabeth was also a Levite. The father, Zachariah, was a Levite. Mary was a Levite. All right. There's another scripture, and the words escaping me right now. There's another thing also to back this up. Give me let me see if I find it this week for you. All right. Let me see if I find it this week for you. Hold on. There's another one, and I think it's right around here too. Don't sweat. I'm gonna try and find it this week for you, all right? Of Elizabeth. All right, cool. Anything else? Anything else?
No, that's all.
All right. Okay, good. So what we have recently has been Gary Griffith, who is recently the what? Recently appointed Chief of Police in Trinidad and Tobago, right? Everybody know that. Everybody famous with familiar with famous Gary this, Gary that, Gary the other. Famous Gary Griffith, Chief of Police. At this point, I'm sure he's a heathen. He's not a brother, right? At this point, I'm sure of it. I'm sure. I'm 99.9% sure he is a heathen, and there's not an ounce of Israel in him. All right, that there's not an ounce of Israel in him at all. He came up with his one shot, one kill. What's it? What you would call that? That's his policy. All right. What is he talking about? Anybody's familiar?
Yeah, so that he was saying basically any criminal raise a gun or points a gun at a police officer. The police officer have the right to shoot back, to kill him. That is what he was talking about.
All right, and okay. And he said this, right? What is he really saying?
So like I say, is he saying that if I feel in threat of my life, I can defend myself, but because I feel threatened.
And him feeling threatened is what we talking about? What we talking about when they say he's feeling threatened?
You know, like I'm going on a bus,
mm-hmm.
and let me say I reach on the bus, and based on the individuals on the bus, to put it in a nutshell, if I see anything dark, I'm killing it. Anything black, I'm killing it.
And of course, when the brother say he going on a bus, he's talking about a drug bust or a raid. All right. So now Trinidad has a very high murder rate right now. All right. It's damn near twice what it was from what I remember. What I remember was around 300, 3 something. Now it's down. Last year they finished at what, 5 something? 600. The year before, I think it was around that too, right? You remember?
It was close to 500.
It was close to 5. So it had increased. What they're saying is that since he came in, he took this this position, the rate at which it was going has decreased. Because when he took his position in August of 2018, the rate was at a pace where it was expected that the murder rate in Trinidad would finish at 600 plus, right? That's the rate they was expecting. Once he took the office or the position, however you want to put it, they saying that now the rate has dropped and it's slowed up. So of course he has a whole ton of fanfare behind it. You understand? He's getting a whole lot of praise, prestige, praise, the whole, fame behind what, that so-called drop. All right. Behind that so-called drop, he's getting a whole lot of, buzz behind the whole thing. Now, there is a problem with that. There is a serious problem with that. And what is that problem? Huh? Go ahead.
Basically, because of the support that you're getting from certain parts of the public, I should say, you kind of get me right. If you do something wrong, you will say, well, how much you do, you get the crime rate down, so you will still get the support, basically. The majority of the population.
Majority of the population will give him the support. That's correct. They'll give him support, but okay, they'll give him support. Why? What's the root of it? You really had to be looking at it with that spiritual eye. What's the root of it?
So since you come in, a lot of PR, and thing with these boss on them, so in the eyes of the public, looking like a Superman.
That's true. That's true. Something else.
It's like black people terrorizing.
That's the point. That's where you really want to go, because that's who this whole thing is aimed at. The whole thing is aimed at the children of Israel. You understand? Yeah. He's not saying one shot, one kill for SHALAM. And SHALAM is long, they're part of what they call the so-called 1%, the so-called elite. But everybody knows SHALAM, them own all the banks, own all the big businesses, own all the boats, right? They say SHALAM said on it was a CNN interview.
Yeah,
it was a CNN interview. SHALAM said his whole family controls Trinidad. Right? Right or wrong? Right, Officer Galawan did a tape on it. It's on the same channel. If you're interested, you could go check it out. He said his entire family controls the country, basically. All right? Controls the whole country, which means they're fully aware of where all the drugs and guns coming from. They know the ports they're coming in at. They know everything. Recently, Gary Griffith went on a drug raid or a bust. Where was it? In West Moorings, Trinidad, right? West Moorings, Trinidad. Somebody tell me about West Moorings, Trinidad.
West Moorings populated with some of the richest people in Trinidad and Tobago, especially the Syrians on there.
Syrians and other heathens.
Right? West Moorings houses Trinidad's rich and famous. Some of Trinidad rich and famous. You have Valsain, West Moorings, to another part of Diego Martin. You get the point down in the west. They house Trinidad's rich and famous, rich and powerful, and not necessarily political in any way, but just rich. You get me? Rich and powerful. You get me? So now, this day went on this drug raid, and how many pounds of cocaine they found? Or what's the street value?
So that we ain't too sure because at first they were saying 5 million. Then after it dropped from 5 million.
Okay, at first I heard 12.
12.
I heard 12 or 13 first. The first thing I heard was around 12 or 13. Then it dropped to like 7. And now it's 4. Right? Now it's 4. The street value just keep dropping. No problem. We used to that. We used to that. Trinidad is a place where they seize cocaine and weed, and the next morning they say rats eat the evidence, and it's half the weed in there. It's half the cocaine. So we have, you know, Bob Marley rats running around just getting high and just finding evidence. Somehow these rats could find, you know, cocaine, right? So Trinidad is a place we know, you know, evidence disappears. That's, you know, that's a given. We understand that part. The part I don't understand is on an ordinary drug raid, let's say they kick in my door, right? Excuse me, my front door, right? And they find some sort of illegal substance on me, some type of contraband in my house. What's happening to my old grandmother that's asleep in the bedroom furthest away from mine? What's happening to her? Huh?
Okay, sir, she will not get arrested.
Say again?
Who else? I said she and the whole house will not get arrested.
He go into jail. He go into jail, the baby go into jail. The owner of the house go into jail. Right? In that drug bust in West Moorings, who went to jail?
So like I said, only the brothers and them, then she was the only one who get bail, sir.
Exactly. There was what, 4 Israelites, 2 brothers or 3 brothers, 1 sister, and a heathen, right? Some heathen girl, some East Indian girl, right? Right or wrong? You're with me or not? All right. When they first got arrested, everybody was in cuffs. By the next few days, they charged the Israelites. And that heathen, she's the only one that got bail. What else are they saying about that heathen?
That she's the family of one of the so-called ministers in the parliament.
She's a relative to a government minister, right? She's a relative to a known government minister. What's his name? You remember his name?
Something young.
Stuart Young, right? Stuart Young. What is Stuart Young the minister of?
National security, sir.
Wait, hold on. So what was it?
National security, sir.
Hold on. wait. Hold on. The Minister of National Security has a niece or a stepdaughter or somebody who's closely related to him in a house that's owned by the family in $1 million estate West Moorings. And she is involved with a somewhere between 4 to 12 or $13 million cocaine bust. So that's what we're talking about. Now, you mean to tell me, with that kind of cocaine, that type of money of cocaine, there was no guns in the room? No, so you're not protecting this cocaine. There was no guns in the room, and nobody gets shot protecting that type of cocaine? So how are you gonna explain to the boss man who you selling for that you just let the cocaine go? You're talking about millions of dollars worth of cocaine, right?
I know that.
Okay, later on, what did we find out about this heathen girl who they say was involved? Anybody knows?
Yeah, can't recall, sir. Can't recall.
No sweat, Galawan, you recall anything?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna tell. Go ahead.
Basically, the said minister come and say he wasn't involved again with the mother, and if you do the crime, you have to do the time. And he come out and say.
Of course, he had to come out and denounce it.
Yeah.
Said, of course, he was not involved with her mother anymore. And, there's no pardon for her if you do the crime, you do the time, all that nonsense. Right? Also, when they did the raid, the same, I think it was him or his son, was speeding away from the house at the time of the raid, holding a certain cell phone that was alleged to have all the contacts, all the drug contacts in it. And of course, got away from the police. This is what came out of it. What came out of it is that this young girl was basically an informant. They said she was cooperating with the task force and that she was not really part of the drug ring. That she was the one who gave all the information for the real criminals to be apprehended. That's what came out of the whole story. All right? That's how she was able to secure that amount of bail. That's how she was able to be hands off from the story, which is a good lesson for brothers who like to go after these heathens, that when the shit hit the fan, excuse my language, of course, they will distance themselves from you. You get the point?
Yeah.
Distance themselves from you because, of course, with all the drinking and getting high together, a heathen knows that an Israelite is not their people. A heathen understands that we're not the same as them, and there's no way in hell she is going to go down for this, whatever it is that she's facing. You get me? Let's get a little bit of this same drug bust here, all right? See if I can get it. Everybody seeing this?
Police Gary Griffith says he's standing by his statement of 1 shot, 1 kill. Commissioner Griffith was responding to a headline in today's Trinidad Guardian newspaper titled Gary Wrong. Mr. Griffith said the headline was in total contrast to what was being said by force science analyst Michael Goodrich, who gave his views on the commissioner's strategy. The commissioner questioned the motive behind the headline and said even if one person says he is wrong, the fact is that over 90% of polls among citizens...
Now, hold on. This is some of the stuff they sees. Gary gone on the raid in a damn carnival costume top. He's the chief of police, though. He gone on the raid dressed like that. And you'll see these guns here, right? There's AK pistols on the side here, ARs, M16s. These is high-power rifles they found. And you mean to tell me that there was no standoff, there was no shootout with this? If it is, this is a raid, this is a sting operation. They don't know you're coming. Who is the men on post? Who's the men on guard?
All right.
You get me? This is one of two things. Either this was a whole setup to make him look like a hero, or this girl really set up the whole crew. You get me?
Okay.
If it is you remember the shootout where they killed the 5 boys all at once?
Right.
Them boys wasn't hiding no drugs. They was hanging out in the back of the house. If it is that turned into a shootout for nothing, how in the hell this was not a shootout? They got guns. They fully loaded, I mean, AK at close range, brother, that shit will take you, you know, that will open you up. You understand? That will open you up. Kel-Tec, all kind of thing. Them things will open you up. So now it's fully understood that this girl who was with them, she, of course, sell out the whole crew. She's East Indian. She's out on bail. She's a relative of a famous government minister. The rest of them in jail, all right?
Including the authority suggest otherwise. The commissioner said he's not changing his stance, and there was nothing anyone could do to alter it.
Something about that purple. Anybody wearing that purple, brother, you have the suspect.
He repeated his position that if anyone aims a firearm or shoots at his officers, they have his full support to fire back, and it is not to injure. He said he believes what he called those foolish comments can do nothing other than cause police officers to have that 1 second hesitation, which can in turn cost them their life.
Right? So he said anybody who aim a gun or fires a shot at an officer, his officers, you know, have his full permission to shoot and to kill. Not to injure, but to kill, right?
He reminded all officers to ignore those who are trying to tell them how to do their job or certain persons whose sole aim was to sell newspapers.
Right? So he's saying, of course, don't worry with the public. They can't tell you how to do your job. You could do your job, right? You could go ahead and do your job. Don't worry about the public. Just, you know, go ahead. All they want to do is sell papers. That's all they want to do, right? Don't worry about it. Let them, you know, don't sweat them. Just continue doing what you have to do, and all will be fine. That's what he's saying. Now, once again, from this, I'm looking for the damn pictures, brother, and for the life of me, I cannot find the pictures. And I had them just a second ago. I'm going to find the pictures and show you all, even when they arrested them, right? Anybody remembers, you know, what the situation was when they arrested them? Okay. They had the Israelites handcuffed, damn near hog-tied, lying face down. The East Indian girl was in the chair at the dining table sitting down. Y'all don't remember nothing like that? Yes or no?
Last, sir.
Oh boy, I had to find them pictures. Galawan, see if you could pull them for me. See if you find them somewhere on your phone. I don't even know if we had them posted on this damn Trinidad page. I'm not sure. Hold on, bear with me. Let me just go pull it up. I had the pictures here shortly. I'll probably close the window. It's possible that I close the window with it. But Gary, okay, he is, and this is not just him alone. He is definitely the face of it. You understand? He is definitely the face of it. But by no means am I saying this is him alone. All right? What he is doing is spearheading a greater plot, a greater scheme, which is to further oppress and find reasons to kill or destroy the children of Israel. All right? Hold on. All right, I think I found some. I got one. You can hold off. I found some of them. I had some ones that I saved for this. And I think I've done close the window. All right. So this is, you see the girl on the left? That's her, right? This is a sister who was in on it as well. Right? Everybody see that, right? This is the girl out here again. They have her separate from everybody else, searching her, doing whatever they will, whatever the police do. Ain't no sweat. These are the brothers here. Y'all see? Right, brother, he bleeding a little bit from his back because a little scuffle. Cocaine on the ground. They scatter the cocaine all around them because, of course, this ain't how, this is not how the cocaine was. Even if it was in that corner, you put them to kneel down facing the wall over all these bricks. Why? Why you did that? Anybody knows? Huh? Go ahead.
Is that how we to show that, you know, they're involved in terrorism act or criminal act?
It's a way to further demonize the children of Israel. What is so significant about this picture? Who knows? There's something in this picture here, brother, that is absolutely significant. And you had to really see it for what it is. You had to see it with that spiritual eye to really see what it is. Come on with me. Come on. Bring me home.
So, yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Just trying to create an image or to continue creating images that these people, these old leaders be involved in drugs and illegal stuff.
You're right. But to explain to me how that image brings that about. Yeah, let me pull it up on the screen one more time. All right. And I want you to explain to me how that image brings about what it is that that same thing you say. Where we are. All right. Is it up? What is this? What does this image mean? Think about it good.
So, okay, sir.
Go ahead.
Other than the drugs and thing on the floor, they're showing you from behind all that the pants pull down. You see the underwear and thing. That's
listen, I did not even think about that, and that is so heavy. That is so heavy. I can't halfway fault you for not even being able to see it, because it's such a systematic thing in us that even we think it's normal.
So, like, yes, sir.
Come on.
Based on the image or the look, it's like anyway you see the children of Israel in this with this look is more or less like, hey, you need to rub them down or to search them down.
Yes.
Because they will have some sort of illegal substance on them moving with.
You taking me right where I want to go. You notice, okay, in this picture, there's other pictures with their faces where they're sitting down at the table. This picture is to totally degrade black men. Kneeling down in a pile of cocaine, underneath your foot black. Your pants hanging off where your drawers showing. One half braids, the other one he half naked. But the only thing you know here is these are black men, nothing else.
Right.
So now, when you see these black men, what is the terminology they use? These thugs, these pests, these punks. When you dehumanize people, it's easier to kill them.
Right.
The minute you take away the humanity from somebody, it's easier to eradicate that person. Because now nobody cares, because this is not a human being you're killing. This is just another filthy drug dealer. This is just another filthy black man. And if you really want to be honest, these men are not drug dealers. These men do not own this house. These men did not own the operation that packaged these bricks. You get the point?
I know.
They don't own the boats that the bricks come in. These men are labor, slave labor. There's no difference between these brothers' job and if you're working for Francis Fashions, or if you're working for Khaled's Grocery, or if you're working for the Trinidad and Tobago Police Force. You're just a slave doing a slave's job. It's just this job is illegal and that job is legal. You get me? And this is not by choice. Just like if you work in those other jobs, it's not by choice. Your options were limited, and you decided it's either the streets or put on a badge. And some men put on a badge and become cops, and the other men do this. But these are same brothers facing the same options under the same oppression. But you demonize these men. You demonize these men. Now you see how it is, right? Now look at this picture here. Hold on. Where we at? Where we at? Hold on. Where's she at? Where's she at, boy? Where's she at? Where home girl? Oh. You see this picture here? Brother, you see who on the ground? I don't see it. You see it? Who is face down on the ground with their hands behind their back?
That's it.
Sister, this same sister here, just in case whoever tuned in late. This same sister here with the same blue, right? The same sister here. That's my Lord. Okay. She's face down. This girl, there's not one picture with her face down. There's not one picture with her, you know, standing around the cocaine looking like a Jesse, you know. You get me? There's not one picture. You understand? You know why? She aided them in what they needed for that moment. They needed some numbers, and she got it. You understand? They needed some numbers, and she got it. You get me? She gets all the dignity in the world. This is her here again. And these pictures are to make you look at her like, what is Trinidad's reaction when they see her? When they see this image here?
She's not a princess. Why is she doing that?
Oh, boy, look at her. Why this girl get herself mixed up with them niggas? Look at this girl. Nice girl, you know. Look at her. Nice girl. I'm sure she have a bright future ahead of her. But because she mix up with them niggas, nobody is saying because them niggas mix up with this rat.
Right.
Problems. But they will say her whole life is ruined because of these brothers. When these brothers don't own this house, her family own the house. Her family owned the house. If the cocaine was all theirs, you mean to tell me she's okay to bring it there? No. You ain't running that by me at all. You ain't running that by me at all. You get me? Now, had they shown, is this here? Had they shown this image of her? What do you think? Would the outcry be different? Would they say, nah, she deserved to go in. She ain't looking so clean there, right? Nah, she ain't looking so put together there, right? But yeah, oh my God. How could look at her? You know, she didn't know what she was doing. I'm sure she wasn't even involved in this. The only reason she there is because she liked black men. Right? All them things is what they say. Right or wrong? Right? All them things is what they say. That's what they're going to be saying to, you know, defend a heathen. But brother, if it was us, what's going on? Bone, somebody grab it. Whoever needs to answer it. Who needs to answer it? All right. It might be Shah calling somebody. You're checking it real quick and let's focus back here, right? Right? They go through extra lengths for that. But of course, when it's time for us, we are punks. We are thugs. We this, we that, we the other. When, brother, what Gary Griffith is doing is furthering the agenda of white supremacy. All right? Gary Griffith is furthering the agenda of white supremacy. And it's a very, very dangerous thing that he's doing. Extremely dangerous. Somebody give me Zechariah 11:5. Zechariah 11:5. All right?
And I've gone. Book of Zechariah chapter 11 and verse 5. Who possesses slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
Verse above. Give me one verse above.
Zechariah 11 and verse 4. Thus saith the Lord my God, feed the flock of the slaughter.
Right? Feed the flock of the slaughter. Who is the flock of the slaughter? The children of Israel. The 12 tribes of Israelites are the flock of the slaughter because we are the one who everybody is aiming to destroy, who everyone is aiming to slaughter, who everyone is aiming to kill. The Lord is telling us, feed the flock of the slaughter. What does he mean by feed the flock of the slaughter? What does he mean?
So that is to teach them.
Teach them. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word which proceeded from the mouth of the Lord. You get me? And of course, with that comes feeding them. Literally. You all remember? Christ, after he taught the multitude, they followed after him. Christ said, listen, time to get something to eat. His disciples was, Lord, send them away and let them find something to eat. What did Christ say? You all familiar with what I'm talking about? You all remember?
So I guess so. You were saying that if you send them away, they would faint on the way back to the homes. So basically, he did a miracle and multiply the loaves and the fish.
That's true. That's the account I'm talking about, but there's something else. There's something else.
And I'll go back to the account to more or less.
Yeah, somebody grab the account. Wait, it says Matthew 15. There's two accounts, right? There's one in Matthew 15. And the one I want is Mark 6, but the one in Matthew 15 is excellent as well. Hold that one. But give me Mark 6 first. Mark 6 and 36. Start at 35.
The book of Mark, chapter 6 and verse 35. And when the day was now fast spent, his disciples came unto him and said, this is a desert place, and now the time is far past.
Right? They come to him and say, listen, this is a desert place, meaning ain't nothing out here. And Salakia said, but we've been out here long enough. Right? Go ahead.
Send them away, that they may go into the country round about, and into the villages, and buy themselves bread, for they have nothing to eat.
Right? So now, this is just a young brother who out there long as hell, he ready to eat. But he know once them people there questioning Yahushua, there's no eating. So he's like, Lord, send them away so that, you know, let them go now, sir, so they could go buy something for themselves to eat, so they could feed themselves. Because, of course, you know, he out there long, he's ready to eat. You get me? What did Christ say?
He answered and said unto them, give ye them to eat.
What does that mean?
Basically saying to feed them.
He turned around and say, nah, you feed them. You feed these people. You think this job is just teaching people? You feed them. What, you going to feed them and make them how to go and be at the mercy of Caesar? You're going to feed them and how to go and be at the mercy of Rowley and Pandey and them and Gary Griffith? Nah, nigga. Teach them and feed them. You feed them. You worried about it's getting late, send them away so they could catch the stores open so they could buy bread. You feed them. You understand? And to show you even more that Christ caught the spirit that came in, keep reading.
And they say unto him, shall we go and buy 200 penny worth of bread and give them to eat?
Right, so there's like, so Lord, what you want us to do? Go and buy, you know, $10,000 worth of food. Look how much people you have here. We ain't got that. Which is letting you know what? What is it letting you know?
That we poor, more or less. We don't have the dollar.
They don't have the dollars. There's something else. Based on your knowledge of the story, you already know Christ. This is the miracle of the loaves, of the fish and the loaves, right? Of the 2 fish and the 5 loaves or 7 loaves, how much ever it was, where Christ fed the multitude, right? This is letting you know that these brothers who rolled with him, they rolled with him hardcore. But of course, just like every brother, when they come into the truth, you're very young and you don't understand the power of the Lord. Something that you looking at that seems impossible is not impossible with the Lord. And the scriptures say that. The scriptures say with man, things are impossible. With the Lord, nothing is impossible. So in their mind, they cannot feed this multitude. Christ went on to ask them, how much of this we have? How much of that we have? Ain't no sweat. There's enough for everybody. Let's get busy. You get the point? But of course, they ate first. That's just a sidebar. They ate first. When you read both accounts, it will tell you that they ate first. Christ fed the men in rank order and then fed the multitude with the crumbs, with what was left after the top men ate, right? Which is, again, a good precept for rank and order. You know, Christ is, you know, this is in the United Nations. You get me? Now skip to the other one, the one in Matthew 15, the one that Baryath pulled. Matthew 15.
Start at Matthew 15 verse 32.
32, but you could start at 31.
Matthew 15 verse 31. Insomuch that the multitude wondered when they saw the dumb to speak, the maimed to behold, the lame to walk, and the blind to see, and they glorified the God of Israel.
You understand? So Christ he was getting busy with the worker. He was getting busier. They saw the dumb speak, the lame walk. Like Christ was healing people. And just think like today, why did Christ have to heal the poor? Just think today.
So like yes, so they wouldn't have to go, as we are now talking to any other nation to beg bread.
Because what happens when we go to the hospitals today? Maria?
So like yes, see about your last.
They see about you after they give medicine to everybody else. Get the point? I know how it is in Trinidad, but brother, over here, there are some called insurance. And if you ain't got it, brother, you is going to die. Get me? You coming with your head part in your hand. You could come in with your head in your hand like this. And they'll look down. You have insurance and you better answer. Your head better answer. You get me? Well, he's not getting seen. Or you ain't getting the type of care that you would get if you had that sort of coverage. You understand? Due to our immense poverty. So Christ was out there doing the work of the Lord, taking care of the people, feeding the flock. Keep reading. 32.
Okay. Verse 32. Then Yahushua called his disciples unto him and said, I have compassion on the multitude.
Say it again. Say it again.
I have compassion on the multitude.
Say it one more time.
I have compassion on the multitude.
Go ahead.
Because they continue with me now 3 days.
You understand? Christ had compassion on black people, Hispanics and Native Indians. He had compassion on his people because they followed him for 3 days. They didn't gain paid for that, waiting patiently. He dealing with this one, that one. He rocking and rolling, and they followed him 3 days. He had compassion on his people. He felt sorry for his people. He was empathetic, sympathetic with his people. You get me? Go ahead.
Okay. And have nothing to eat. And I will not send them away fasting, lest they faint in the way.
You understand? And he's like, man, they're rocking and rolling with me. I'm not going to send these people away hungry. I'm not going to do that to them. That's an evil thing to do to them. And brother, that's what Trinidad is ramping up to do to blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians down there. You best believe the East Indians are going to be fine. You understand? The East Indians are going to be fine. The Chinese are going to be fine. The Africans down there are going to be fine. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, they're getting ready to send us away hungry. Hungry, which is a driving force in which most brothers fall into crime. Some brothers do it by choice. They want to be a gunman. I understand that. A lot of brothers do it because that's how they eat. You understand? That's how they eat. How much pictures you all see going all over the newspaper about people stealing from the grocery store, robbing the grocery store? What did they rob? Money or a ton of groceries? A ton of groceries. Women walking out underneath their skirt in their bag, stealing for the sake of poverty. You get me? And the government is selling the oil companies to the companies in France, and the French companies coming in and lowering the wages, and they're laying off more electrical workers, more of those oil workers. Who else being laid off? Somebody else. There was somebody else. The phone company laying off thousands of people all at once. All at once with no plan of buffering the needs of the poor. You get the point? And black people will always feel the brunt of it, right? Christ said, I will have compassion on those people. Keep going. Stop right there. Go back to Zechariah.
Book of Zechariah, chapter 11 and verse 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
You understand? Read it again from the top.
Whose possessors slay them and
feed the flock, feed the flock.
Verse 4. Thus say the Lord, my God, feed the flock of the slaughter. Right, feed the flock of the slaughter. That's why this job you're called to do is to take care of Israel. That's damn near the most important thing. To take care of the children of Israel. To take care of the flock. You get me? To teach them right from wrong. To teach them the ways of the Lord. And to feed them, to take care of them like a family. You understand? Take care of their problems. Yeah, like this job, you're going to find out your work is not your work. This is the tip of the iceberg as it comes to your work. Going out there and teaching. Because after you teach them and they want to come learn more, guess what problems you have? Now that they come into you to learn more, now their problems is your problems. Their mortgage is your mortgage. Their light bill is your light bill. Their children getting sick is your children getting sick. Their household problems is now your problems. You understand? That's why he said, they followed me for 3 days. I have compassion on these people. I feel like I know them. You get me? That's how you know you're around a man of the Lord. A man has the Holy Spirit because he has compassion on the Lord's people because nobody else does.
But Gary Griffith blatantly, I'm looking for the other interview where he said, he went on national TV and said, I have no mercy on these punks, these thugs, these people who want to terrorize Trinidad. I have no mercy for them. So the interviewer turned around and asked him, well, listen, we understand that, but we also know there's corrupt police in your force. And he said, yes, we're getting rid of them. We're going to test them. These officers of mine, I know I have good officers and bad officers. Now, these officers that we're talking about are not, okay, they ain't stealing just, arrest you and take your $5 or your $20 or your $100. What are these corrupt police officers doing in Trinidad?
So like, yes, run any block.
Give me, say it plain. Running the block, selling drugs, kidnapping people, stealing cars, stealing full-out cars. Right or wrong?
Right.
Wasn't there a big case like 2-3 months ago where this man was robbed of his BMW? Where did they find the BMW?
At a policeman's home, sir.
Say it again?
At a policeman's home.
All right, then. If we really want to talk about thugs and punks, how come Gary did not use the same language to describe police officers? How come?
So I guess Gary Griffith is out too, and trying to protect his comrades who in crime like him.
Yes, but okay, not directly. Not directly. He is okay. What he is doing is he is giving respect to, as you say, his comrades, because he cannot demean his comrades over the few that, the few, when I say few, quote unquote few, the few that are breaking the laws. You understand? He's not going to do that. But of course, it's a few of us who are breaking the laws on the street. This ain't 90% of the black community. You get me? This ain't 90% of the black community. This is a few brothers who you misguided. They are doing wrong. I ain't saying they're right. They're wrong for what they're doing. But if it is that you could have respect for your officers when they do wrong, well, all right then. So, what happened to my brothers? They don't get no respect? Huh? They don't get no respect? All right, hold on. I'm trying to find it because I know people ain't gonna believe this shit. I'm just pulling back up that story for you. Everybody seeing this right here? Y'all seeing this right here, right? All right. What does it say here?
So it says stolen luxury cars found at Cuba House.
I thought it was one car when I first, heard the shit. But it's more than one because this here is a BMW, right? What's this right here?
A Jaguar.
That says a Jaguar. Yeah, according to them European, them the Jaguars. Them Europeans say Jaguars. And brother, this is a policeman's house. They found this at. Right? This is a policeman's house. They found that at. Get the point? How come he ain't say, I'm going to purge my force of these punks who are terrorizing Trinidad? What are you more afraid of? Somebody walking in your house with a gun or being pulled over by the police? What's a bigger concern to you as a regular person?
So the police
Because, okay, they ain't, the crime is rampant. But, brother, what these cops is doing is something ridiculous. You get me?
Okay.
What they're doing is something ridiculous. And for a moment, you'll pause because it's like, I'd rather get robbed or I'd rather, you know, encounter it. It's damn near the same thing. It's damn near the same thing. If you meet up with one of them who kidnapping people and stealing the cars, shit, it might as well you meet up with somebody who robbing and, you know, doing the regular stuff. You get me? So now this whole thing is to demonize black people. Demonize blacks and Hispanics. And if you notice, they always call the same areas. What's the areas they say responsible for all the crime? Lavantil.
Nuts. Beaton.
Nuts. Beaton. Where else? John. Labre. Point. Right? Go ahead.
Martin, Enterprise,
they go Martin. You get the point? And when they put the pictures of young black men who they caught in it, the public outcry is kill them. These is pests. Rid them of the country, kill them, bury them all, cut off their head. But when East Indians do crime, nobody says nothing. Right? Nobody says nothing. And the Syrian and them we know is drugs being involved and nobody ain't saying nothing. But when it comes to us, it's to kill us. He is walking the line of demonizing black people so that when it comes to kill black people, there will not be an outcry.
Right.
They will, you know, they will die in silence. And that's what he wants, because Gary Griffith has embodied what is called the mark of the beast. And it's not just him. It's not just him. This whole modern progressive movement to become more American means you must embrace white supremacy.
Right.
And you must embrace the ideology of white supremacy. And white supremacy must hate blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
That's it goes hand in hand. It's like, you know, if you jump in water, you get wet. White supremacy is about the worship of white people, worship of white society, and worship of white ideals. At the same time, you must hate and seek to destroy the 12 tribes of Israel. That's white supremacy. You can't be a white supremacist and love black people. It's impossible.
That's right.
It's actually impossible. And Gary Griffith he has embodied it, he's embraced it, he has pushed it all the way. Give me Deuteronomy 28. Give me the Lord will send a nation with a fierce countenance. Right? Give me the Lord will send a nation with a fierce countenance against thee. All right. Recently, who has Gary Griffith met with in an attempt to solve Trinidad's problem?
So the United States Embassy. Yeah.
You're right, but some a little bit more specific.
So Rudy Giuliani.
Rudy Giuliani. Go ahead, keep the way you're going to say some more?
He's strategic advisor to Trump right now as well.
What is he famous for? Or what was he famous for?
Crime policies and getting down crime in New York City, stop and frisk.
Stop and frisk. He is famous for that stop and frisk, which targeted blacks and Hispanics. He wasn't doing stop and frisk on Wall Street, right? He was not doing stop and frisk on Wall Street. He was not doing stop and frisk down in Manhattan. You get me? This was something that targeted blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You get me? You find the scripture here, Doc?
Cancel.
All right, go ahead.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 50. A nation of a fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor of the young.
Right? The Lord will send on thee a nation of a fierce countenance. What does that mean, fierce countenance?
Somebody to oppress you, sir.
Someone who will oppress you. Give me some more. What else does it mean?
Show no mercy, sir.
Say again?
A merciless nation, sir.
A merciless nation. Fierce countenance is referring to your face. Right? Your countenance is your face, your appearance.
Right.
And in spirit, their appearance is an evil, attacking, ferocious, merciless countenance towards the children of Israel. Right? You all remember what when they had that caravan from Central America coming to the borders of the Mexican border, and they were alleged to be throwing bricks and stones. What did Donald Trump say?
So let's say basically give the rights to the U.S. Army to kill them use lethal force.
He said he told them, treat every stone or every bottle as if it was a round from a rifle. That's what he said. Not a handgun, not a pistol, not a 9mm round or something small that brothers could survive. He said treat every stone thrown as a round from a rifle, which means what? You are free to fire back. That's someone who with a nation of a fierce countenance. You get the point? We're talking about if families coming to the border with women and children and babies running from a hellhole that you yourself created, and in the event that they may, I don't know how true it is, have thrown bricks and rocks, nigga, you going to fire live rifle rounds into the crowd? And you the leader and you told everyone do it? This is a nation of a fierce countenance. You understand? You all with me? This is a nation of a fierce countenance. All right? Go ahead.
Continue, sir?
Yeah, please.
Verse 51. And he shall eat the fruit of thy...
Read it again from the top.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. A nation of a fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
You understand? A nation of fierce countenance, which will not regard the persons of the old, neither show favor to the young. And that's who we have ruling over us. You get me? That's the white man. He is in charge of white supremacy, and that's how he is towards us. He doesn't show favor to the old or the young. Who gives a damn? All Gary concerned with is these young thugs. They one shot, one kill. One shot, one kill. Right? Now, let's see some of the stop and frisk, all right? Let's see some of the stop and frisk right here. Galawan, you have the article I asked you for, right?
Yeah, come on.
All right, hold on, just hold it. Go ahead.
There's something here, the United States Embassy, right? John McIntyre, he donated some high-tech equipment to the police service.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. First the embassy donated riot gear to the prison guards. Right? You all remember they was having a problem with the prisoners? They donated riot gear to the prison guard. because the prisoners was having a problem with the COs in Trinidad. Of course, they was lining up them men on their stomachs, handcuffed and whooping the hell out of everybody, right? Is one inmate with a cell phone that saw it, recorded it and posted it outside. That's how everybody found out. And what was the outcry when everybody saw that video? What was people saying? Was people concerned about what the guards was doing, the brothers, or was they concerned that this inmate has a cell phone?
Inmates.
Say again?
Some of the inmates have a cell phone, and some was concerned about how the guards was treating the brothers in prison.
Exactly. That's horrible. Imagine somebody in your children's school is raping your child, and a child who should not have a cell phone videos it and sends it out so people can see what's happening in school. Would you be mad at the child that recorded it? Nah, that child would be called what? A hero. That they would say that child was brave. You was brave to do something like that. You knew you shouldn't have a cell phone, but harm was being done. Something wrong was being done. Because somebody is in prison don't mean you get to abuse that person. You get me? You don't get to abuse that person. And what they was doing to those brothers was abuse, where you handcuffing a man behind his back. Once again, the footage, we'll get it and post it to the Trinidad page so everybody could see what I'm talking about. You have them men laying down on their stomach and you picking out hand one by one, and you and your homies jumping everybody. Then you pick the next dude up and jumping everybody. And the shit is supervised because you have, high official COs in there standing up watching what's going on. Right? Now, Trinidad's prison attire. What do the brothers wear? Come on.
Based on the couple of videos I see from in prison, normal clothes.
Normal clothes. And what is their footwear?
Slippers.
Slippers. Literal slippers, Akim. And the U.S. Embassy donated riot gear for prisoners who was angry about being abused. And you donated, knee pads, elbow pads, batons, tear gas, the big riot shield, the helmet, for the niggas who doing time in flip-flops. Like, what is the danger to you that you need riot gear? You understand? This is all further to oppress the spirit of black people. It's all further to fully oppress and destroy that spirit of black people, all right? Let me get this video here on the stop and frisk. All right, everybody seeing?
Hello.
All right.
I would do stop and frisk. New York, it worked incredibly well, and you have to be proactive.
Right? You all heard Trump is supporting stop and frisk, right? He said it worked incredibly well, meaning we oppress the hell out of niggas, right? Right? Stop and frisk allows officers to stop, question, and search people they suspect have committed a crime or may commit a crime. So I have to look at you and think, he look like he just robbed somebody, or he looks like he is about to rob somebody. And because of that, I could pull you over, brother, and go in your drawers and detain you. You get me? I could just see you walking the road and just go, pull you over, and that's that. All right? Let's keep going. right? Regardless whether or not there's evidence that connects them to a crime. This is how they would stop and frisk. Now, America's Constitution, you can't search somebody without probable cause. How the white man gets around his own laws is by saying every police officer has probable cause if he suspects you, which means I could just look at you and be like, yeah, he looked guilty. He looked guilty, which takes us back to which picture?
Drug bust.
Which takes us back to that drug bust, brother. Which takes us back to that. Is that on the screen? Did I pull it up yet? No, hold on. Hold on. Let me get it back. Where is it? Which takes us back to this. You understand? Which takes us back to that. Now, these brothers are guilty. They're in the house with the cocaine. They're in there right now. Right? But brother, if I see a brother in a black shirt with braids and his drawers showing and he walk into a store, he must be guilty. You understand? Must be guilty. But of course, if she is with him, she is just, she's just a casualty. She's just a tender flower. She's just misguided. You know how young girls are. They think they want that type of dude, but they don't really want that type. So we'll give her a pass, right? We'll just give her a pass. You understand? But these thugs, these pests, we need to eradicate this. So we're going to stop and frisk. Now listen, I'm telling you, all this is going to come to Trinidad even more. It probably happened already. Maybe not as much. You understand? But brother, this is getting ready to come to Trinidad even more. You understand? You with me? All right. Where we at? Hold on. Let's get some more. All right, everybody there? Where we at? Where we at? All right, boom. Right? It was cited as a factor in decreasing crime in the years after it went into effect. Like everybody was saying, this will decrease crime. This will decrease crime. This will deter crime. What does Gary say will deter crime? Go ahead.
Shoot first and ask questions later.
That will deter crime. He says, shoot first, ask questions later. I'm going to push up on them. I intend to squeeze every ounce of drugs, every gun, every disc from them to deter crime. In order to deter, why do people commit crimes?
Okay, sir.
Go ahead.
Many times, so most of the times, it's because of immense poverty, sir, because of the conditions that people live in.
Because of the conditions that people live in. That's why people commit crime. Because of poverty. Gary Griffith recently went on television and said that people commit crimes because of opportunity. Because there's an opportunity to commit crimes, so that people choose the opportunity to commit crimes. Brother, I'm very fearful for brothers in the world in Trinidad. Not for you all, but for brothers in the world, brothers and sisters in the world right now in Trinidad. Because that is a very dangerous rhetoric. People who have the opportunity to commit crime are government officials, are the Syrian empire. You get the point? What's going on there? Who's with me? Who's with me? All right. Are the Syrian empire, government officials. You get me? Dole Chady. What's the other one? Ish Galbaran Singh. You remember they had an East Indian used to work for Panda, they used to call him the sheriff? Dan Raj Singh. they have an opportunity to commit crime. A brother in Laventil, stealing, selling weed, doing whatever, he's trying to eat. And he is trying to eat the wrong way. Yes, it's wrong. But his actions is not because he has the opportunity. It's because of lack of opportunity, dummy. There is no opportunity for him. He has no choice in most cases. In most cases, there ain't no really choice for him. What is he going to do? You get me?
I know that.
Gary doesn't understand that. He doesn't understand that while he must fight crime as a chief of police, while he must do that, he must also understand that crime is a more political and systemic thing. You understand? It's a more political and systemic thing, and it starts from in the government. It starts from there. It starts from all your rich millionaires who own the houses and the boats and the ports that brings in the cocaine, that brings in the guns. It starts from alliances with corrupt police and corrupt politicians. Now, what would Gary say? Well, I can't do that. I have the power to execute force on the street. Well, then be honest and say you really can't stop crime, but you can oppress the poor people who do not have the power to fight you back. Do not lie to the country and say you can't stop crime. You cannot stop crime because the crime starts with the corrupt politicians and your leaders and your businessmen and, of course, the Christian church. That lets you know it's okay to do whatever you want. The Christian church that does not equip brothers and sisters with the mental fortitude to not go down that road, even though things are extremely hard. You understand? Even though, you ever hear them other nations always say, so we poor too, but we don't steal, we don't do this, we don't do that. Let me tell you why. Because you have not been destroyed like we have. You have not been destroyed like we have. You all remember when they had that earthquake in Japan? And the nuclear power plants, you know, they got shaken up and all that radioactive stuff leaked out. You all remember the old school, what was Star Trek with the Chinese man? Old faggot. He's a faggot in real life. He a sodomite in real life. He came on CNN and said, my people do not loot and steal in natural disasters. We are an honorable people. We are Mr. Sue. Mr. Sue or Sulu? What's his name, boy? I forget it in Star Trek, nigga. The old Star Trek with Captain Kirk. The Chinese dude. He is acting Hollywood now, but he is a fruitcake. You would never know it from the Star Trek. But you see him off camera. He is a straight up sodomite, happy and giddy, and he's a straight out rod-sucking sodomite. And he said, my people are a more honorable people. We don't steal and loot in natural disasters. What is he really saying?
Like I said,
go ahead.
Them niggas and them is the worst thing on the face of the planet.
Say again?
Them niggas and them is the worst thing on the face of the planet.
He is saying, my people are not like them niggas. That's what he's saying. He is taking a direct stab at the children of Israel. You understand? He's taking a direct stab at the 12 tribes of Israel because we don't steal and loot and do whatever in natural disasters. Nigga, if an earthquake come and a flood come and I ain't got no food, what you want me to do? Wait until the store open Monday morning? Huh? When I have children to feed? Huh? When I need diapers, when my woman bleeding, blood running down her leg. What I must do? Wait until the government send workers to shovel to push back the water and the cleanup crew? If you had compassion on people like Christ did, you would say, nah, go feed these people. Break open stores. Break open all the grocery stores. Feed them, get them some food. You know why? A grocery store has something called insurance. Shh. Don't tell nobody that. It's a secret. They got insurance. You know what? You know what that means? For every loaf of bread that goes missing, they get their money back. For every kind of food, every kind of salmon, every turkey, for every chicken breast that goes missing, they get their money back.
Okay.
But you rather see black people starve so that you could demonize us. The food is going to float away in the flood.
Okay.
Feeling going to collapse if it's an earthquake and crush all the food. Why not just give it to the poor people now so they could survive and don't starve? Why not just do that? Why not just create a policy where anybody who opens their stores in a natural disaster and gives away all the food, they get a huge tax write-off instead of giving tax write-offs to people who build houses and schools in Africa? You get the point? But white supremacy means you must cultivate an atmosphere that does not feel compassion for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And brother Gary is working hard at cultivating that atmosphere. You hear me? Gary is working overtime at creating an atmosphere that makes sure that you black, you might be a criminal if you're not wearing a badge. You black, you might be a criminal if you're not a politician. Pull over on the side there. Worse again if you have your women and children with you. Good night, brother. Good night. You know what a police officer will do with your woman in a search? I ain't got to tell you. I ain't got to tell you, brother. It's getting ready. Hold on. Let's get some more on this. All right. Y'all good? Y'all done with the test? How it was? It was too hard? No, sure. No sweat.
I'm still 1 5 minutes early.
Say again?
I'm still 1 5 minutes early.
Say that one more time.
Someone is still 1 5 minutes early.
That's cool. They could take as much time. All right. Let's get some more. Right? But there's also evidence that this policy unfairly discriminates against people of color. Galawan, you have my article ready?
Okay.
All right, just hold it, all right? Right? In 2015, New Yorkers were stopped by the police 22,000, damn, let's call it 23,000 times. All right? 23,000 times people were stopped. How much people were innocent?
18,335.
All right. So around 18,000 was innocent. How much percent is that? About 80? About let's call it 70%. All right. 22 divided by 4 is what? 5 and by 5. But no, by 4. All right. 25, 25, 25. Yeah, let's call it about 70%, 75%. Right? About 75% was innocent, which means you just stopping people for stopping people's sake. Let's keep reading. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. What does that say? Uh-huh.
See who the target is.
Listen, how much was black?
So like yes, sir. More than half.
Brother, 6 and 12 is 18. I'm trying to show you all the numbers, brother. With the white man, it's a numbers game. How much people was innocent?
18,353.
How much people was black?
12,222.
No.
18,000. So like yes, sir.
18,821 was innocent. Was black, I mean. Out of 18,821 people who were black, and then we're looking at 18,353 who was innocent. Only 2,000 was white. Who was more likely the goddamn criminal?
White person.
God damn it, man. What the hell are you talking about? One shot, one goddamn kill. Who is most likely the criminal? Now you go and meet with Giuliani and the NYPD to adopt their philosophies and their ideologies to police Trinidad. With people who you say are your own people. You know, lunacy. You see how this is a dangerous thing, huh? And let me tell you, what else does he always say? There's something he always turns around and say. He always says, listen, I'm part of the so-and-so fraternity. And you know, when I go to my international meetings, international law enforcement is laughing at Trinidad. They're laughing at us. That's a lie. That's a lie. I'm gonna tell you straight up. Most people can't find Trinidad on a goddamn map. I don't care what nobody say. Most people can't find Trinidad on a map. You meet white people, where are you from? I hear an accent. Where is that in Africa? I'm from Trinidad. Where is that in Africa? Right. Most people now it's gotten less over the years because of movies and music being transcended, meaning being crossed. All right, it's definitely gotten less over the years. But brother, most people, hold on. Most people think the entire Caribbean is Jamaica. You understand? So don't tell me about when you go internationally, they're laughing at you. If they know where Trinidad is, what are they interested in? What's the next thing? If somebody knows where Trinidad is, what do they say? Ooh, I went there for carnival. Ooh, I love the food. Blah, 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 blah. Ain't nobody talking about Trinidad crime, man. Ain't nobody laughing at Trinidad. You are pushing an agenda that comes from the white man. You understand? You see this here? Hold on. Hold on. Let me show you this disgusting picture. Hold on 1 second. Stay right there. Don't move. Hold up. Hold up. And Alkaline have a song saying, hold up, hold up. We don't trust Babylon. They're full of hocus pocus. That's what Alkaline say. Brother, look at this devil act. Look at him. And look at Gary Griffith with his old redneck racist cracker haircut. That's the worst haircut I've seen in my life. With a smirk on his face like, oh boy, big time. I'm here with Massa now. I'm here with Massa now, not knowing Giuliani is one of the most racist devils you will ever meet, bro. Racist devils you will ever meet. And remember, a few months ago, we went into how Trinidad is strategically placed next to an American interest. But because Trinidad is so small and so unassuming, America is able to make the moves they want to move and pass it off as crime. You get the point? Pass it off as crime. How about you keep your riot gear and you keep your tasers and you take all that money and buy back everything the government sold, including the pitch lake. Imagine Trinidad has a pitch lake. Right? For those of y'all who don't know what a pitch lake is, all right? I think in Los Angeles they have a pitch lake. If I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, somebody could look it up. I think Trinidad has either the biggest or the second biggest pitch lake in the entire world.
So I heard it's Venezuela and Trinidad.
Okay, somebody look it up. Trinidad's pitch lake is not a small thing. I believe Trinidad is. Go ahead.
Is the biggest.
You found it?
No.
I think Trinidad has the biggest naturally occurring tar pit. Americans call it tar pits. We call it a pitch lake because it's like a huge lake filled with tar, pitch that you could walk on. You could extract pitch tar from. Tar is, you know, they used to use it for roofs long ago. But of course, in countries like Trinidad, it's heavily used in maintaining the roads. Trinidad has the largest pitch lake in the world. unconfirmed yet, you're going to get the confirmation shortly, and has the worst roads on the earth. The worst roads on the planet, brother. You have a better chance at driving on Mars than driving in Trinidad. Why is that? Who owns a certain percentage of the pitch lake?
Chinese. Chinese.
The People's Republic of China successfully negotiated from some sellout politicians the sale and future acquisition of assets of a certain percentage of the pitch lake with no return to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. If you're so concerned about crime, why not let's wrap our heads around creating industries to put food on people's table? Why not let's wrap our head around mandatory hiring policies for the people of Trinidad and Tobago to be hired first? You understand? First, the native, you must have a certain percentage of native people. The Tainos, the so-called Caribbean Arawak, you must have a certain percentage about them in your workforce, and you must have a certain percentage of the descendants of slaves. Then everybody else can get hired after. And they must have a minimum that they must make. But you rather send guns and ammunition for one shot, one kill. As if we ain't suffering enough. As if we have not suffered enough. You understand? Let's get back to the video. Where we are? Hold on. Right? New Yorkers have been stopped and frisked more than 5 million times since 2002. Now, if we're talking about 70% of them are black and also 70% are innocent, 70% of 5 million is how much? Just about 4 million? Just about, a little less than 4 million people? So 4 million times it's likely to be black people out of 5. You see how biased this thing is? Critics say it also violates the 4th and 14th Amendments. Right? The 4th and 14th Amendments is about illegal seizures and illegal searches. Right? You don't have the right to just search somebody. You have to get permission or have, you know, more than evidence that they need to be searched. You get me? Right? Data shows there's little correlation between violent crime and stop and frisk. I'm going to say it again. Data shows there is little correlation between violent crime and stop and frisk. Why is that important? Who knows? Go ahead.
It should show, it should paint a proper picture of this is just being an opportunity for them to target black people unjustly. Because when you look at it, there's no crime, or almost no crime involved with the stop and frisk efforts that they say that they're doing.
Say that one more time.
What's like I said, they should paint a proper picture, right? That this is just a hoax. It's just them trying to pull one on people's eye because there's almost no crime in relation to this. The data show that there's little correlation between violent crime and stop and frisk. So what they're doing there is really a hoax. It's really to target black people. So oppress black people.
That's it. You're right. It's ready to target black people. You all understand what Taz was saying? Right? What this is what it's really saying is that this, okay, stop and frisk is really something that will Okay, what type of crimes would you have from somebody who is walking the street? Are they engaging in you know, illegal drugs and when I say illegal drugs, would you be able to catch somebody importing drugs? Right? You wouldn't be able to catch somebody importing drugs. So what kind of crime are we talking about?
So like yes, sir.
Crime
on the street might be mugging and things like that.
Crime on the street, robbery, somebody snatching chains, breaking into cars, stuff like that. The stuff they show you in Trinidad, that's prevalent, right? According to this report, there's no correlation between stop and frisk and violent crimes. You get me? It doesn't stop nothing. It doesn't lower it. It doesn't increase it. It has no effect. You understand? But yet still they show us all these things. Let me tell you something. For every chain that's snatched, for every car window that's broken into, every gunpoint robbery, some politician is stealing millions. What hurts the country more? You losing your cell phone or $9.9 million being smuggled every other month from the economy of Trinidad and Tobago? Yeah. Stealing money. Stealing money is, of course, greater impact. It impacts more people. If you really want to stop crime, brother, we're talking about a revolution. We're talking about an overhaul, which is near impossible because everybody has the mark of the beast. You understand? If we're talking about stopping it, we're talking about putting rich and powerful people in chains. And from the truth, you know that can only happen when Christ comes back. That can only happen when Christ comes back. So what we supposed to do then, until then? Just let Gary kill brothers? What we gonna do? Go ahead.
Take ground, sir. Take the people back, sir.
Give him a hand. We're going to take ground. Take judgment ground out here. That's what we're going to do. Let's keep going. Galawan, how are you going up tonight?
I'm starting a shower. We're going to jump us in sand. All right.
No sweat. What's on the screen? All right, y'all good? Y'all seeing? Let's go.
As mayor, my #1 responsibility is protecting public safety and doing so in a way that complies with the law and respects the rights of all New Yorkers.
Right? He was a former mayor in New York. In 2013, a federal court ruled the practices unconstitutional because they were unfairly applied. Right?
Together with Police Commissioner Ray Kelly, we have done that, and we will continue to do that as we appeal this decision.
They want to appeal the decision that a federal court, for those of you who may not understand the American system, a federal court is a court that makes judgments that are nationwide. You get me? Right? They're federal because America is, okay, even though it's the United States, you have to understand the history of America. They was not always united. Right? It was not always united. Everyone wanted a certain level of autonomy, meaning being able to run their state like a country. You get me? Being able to run their state like a country. That's why you would hear rumors about Texas want to succeed the Union. California could succeed, meaning they could break off and be like a separate country. But of course, just like the white man, he want to run his own thing. He's rebellious. They put America together. So now at the state level, you have a certain amount of autonomy. You could run your state how you want, but then there's certain federal guidelines, which means there's certain rules we all must abide by. And then they give you leeway to run your state however you want. So you'll find laws varying from state to state. You find certain states, there's, certain crimes you commit in certain states. In other states, brother, you go in, you get buried under the prison. Right? There's some states that, like Virginia and Pennsylvania, as common law states. That's, boy, it's, you know, the laws is ridiculous. And a lot of those states, those laws, it's at the judge's discretion the years you get. That's why you would hear certain places, you hear certain brothers talking about they giving out football numbers. Meaning, you know, American football, the score usually end up, what, 38 something, 58 something. Meaning, when you go to court, you gain 58 years, 60 years. You know, that you gain out football numbers because some of them laws is at the judge's discretion. Other laws, they have federal mandates, meaning you do this, it's a 5-year minimum. I can't give you less than 5. And then there's some laws you could get up to 99 years for. You get me? Federal court issued. Come on, Tazo.
But listen, the brother who just now get released after doing 39 years in prison. He was 18 years old when he now come in. I'm not sure what state he from, sir. Is it like something like that? But he was innocent. But the judgment is really given from the jump. People are not innocent or guilty, but based upon their discretion.
I'm not familiar with that case, brother. Okay, I'm not familiar with that case. And okay, you also have to understand this, that Trinidad, places like Trinidad, Jamaica, even England, when you all hear news from America, it seems like this is a big deal, a big case. There's like 100 brothers being released every day from wrong convictions. You understand? Like, what I want you all to do too over the course of the next week, go through, when you're on Facebook at time, go through each city's page, Carolina, California, Detroit, like those pages, because those brothers, and of course the school page, there's the school page where it's written out, Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Oh my God. Like those pages, and you'll see brothers putting out articles and we in there for fun, for the white man's pleasure. Like you read the story and you thinking, wow, that's a big deal. I mean, it is a big deal, but you thinking like this is one that, you know, this is a big one case. That ain't one case, that's like normal. It's such a normal thing. You understand? So when you say the brother who just get released, which one? You get me? What you do is go on like the individual city pages so you could see what's going on in each city, in each state, especially them states in the South, Florida, Carolinas, Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, brother. Shit. You go below that Mason-Dixon line, you liable to end up at the top of a light pole with your neck about this long, stretched. You get me? All right, let's go some more. Where we at? I think I lost the damn page. All right. Where we at on the time?
Sir, it's now 9 o'clock, sir.
All right, just a few more minutes, all right? And we're going to get to the, I had to get my scriptures on this too, Salakia. Okay, y'all see the screen? All right, sorry. All right, so now the federal court turned over the whole stop and frisk because they deemed it unconstitutional, meaning it wasn't fair. You all wasn't stopping 80% white people or even 50-50. You all was just stopping black people. You get me? And even if you stop white people, you probably wasn't robbing them down the way you rob us down. You get the point? Right? Mayor Bill de Blasio was elected in 2013 and the appeal was dropped in 2014, right? The practice hasn't ended in New York, but it has been drastically reduced since the ruling, right? And this was a big deal. This was a huge deal at the time when this federal court ruled that, right? So now the stop and frisk, it doesn't happen that much as it used to, but it still happens a lot. You get the point? But now it's not as much as it was before, but it's still significantly high. All right? Slovakia. Major cities such as Chicago and Philadelphia also enacted stop and frisk policies. Is there stop and frisk in, you know, give me a white state, Wisconsin? I highly doubt it. Is there stop and frisk in Wyoming? Home on the range? Is there stop and frisk in Idaho where they're growing potatoes? Where they grow them big Idaho potatoes? I highly doubt it. But places where black people are, where there's huge black communities, this is where they have it. You understand? Go ahead.
I noticed on the policeman bad, so I look like visitors coming across to kill you, whether they're in Native Americans or so.
I got you see it. Well, this is Chicago.
Okay.
This is Chicago. You gotta probably talk to one of the brothers in Chicago to get the breakdown of this whole image. But this is Native Indians, and this is the good ship Jesus. You get me? Right? Many of those cities are now revising its use because, of course, the cat is now out the bag. You understand? The cat is now out the bag on this situation here. And, you know, okay, that's how the white man is. He'll do a certain system of oppression until it's found out. Then he'll make a law as if it's done away with. But, brother, they done switch the thing around on you. I ain't got to tell you. All right, you slaves complaining, you want freedom, use free now. But you ain't got no land, you got no house. I'll tell you what, come back work for me and I'll give you a free house. You could work my land and I'll take a percentage. We'll call it sharecropping, like we sharing. I'll share with you my land, you share with me your crops. And yeah, sound good. Let's go. Slavery all over again. You understand? So even though they're revising these laws, brother, it's not for the betterment of our people. It's to figure out how they can be more effective at oppressing us. You understand? It's to figure out how they could be more effective at oppressing us. Let me show you your boy here. In the meantime, get me the most subtle beast of the field. Also, too, Salakia, hold on. Give me a few more minutes, all right, Galawan? Okay. A few more. Hold on. There's the facts about stop and frisk. Where's Giuliani? All right, let me get Giuliani right here. All right, let me get the boy Giuliani. All right, y'all see Giuliani here, right?
I'm done.
All right, this was him, I believe, in the last election, where they have all those you know, little debates and TV shows interviewing politicians, and this is what he had to say about stop and frisk.
Constitution. Thanks for meeting us. You got to take Trump to task. He did Candy Crowley 5 times, and the one that got me the most is stop and frisk. But he doesn't know. Yeah, explain that. You know it well. He doesn't know what he's talking about. All right. The argument was the lesser is that it was ruled unconstitutional. It wasn't. Explain what happened. It was not. It was unconstitutional. It was ruled unconstitutional.
Right. So you hear what I'm saying? Stop and frisk was unconstitutional, meaning it was against America's binding laws, which is the Constitution. Right. In other words, unlawful. Right.
Constitutional as applied, not unconstitutional.
Right. So now they're saying that the federal judge, the federal court was wrong for saying it was unconstitutional because there's a difference between it being unconstitutionally applied versus the actual policy on stop and frisk. And listen to this devil explain how the police was breaking the law.
No, it was unconstitutional. It was ruled unconstitutional as applied, not unconstitutional. Stop and frisk is perfectly constitutional in all of the United States today.
So what was the issue in New York?
Lester Holt gave absolutely the wrong impression, and he had no right to do this.
So what was it? What happened?
What happened was, after 20 years of stop and frisk, a federal judge, not my program, but Mayor Bloomberg and Ray Kelly's program, 12 years later, found it unconstitutional as applied because there were too many people and too few successes. The Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, Michael Bloomberg appealed. The Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit enjoined the enforcement of the case, removed the judge from the case, and said that the judge was prejudiced against the police. When Mayor de Blasio took over, he withdrew the appeal, which does not leave stop and frisk unconstitutional. So stop and
you can't stop and frisk now.
Yes, you can.
Are they doing that?
Going on right now tonight, all over America.
Is it going on in New York City?
You're darn right it is.
Now you see this, Devil. He did not explain how it was legal. You understand? And he's smiling. He's like, "Yes, it is. It's perfectly legal." He says it's legal in it's not legal in how it was applied, but it's perfectly legal. He said, "Imagine they ruled out stop and frisk because they had such little success." Well, nigga, if you had no success, what the hell is you doing it for? I'm gonna tell you why. And this is what, when white people talk, listen to what they say. All right?
What's going on the brand? They've lowered the number, they've lowered the amount.
They don't call it stop and frisk.
But they stop and frisk.
And they frisk.
And
yeah, he said they don't call it stop and frisk no more. But Giuliani is like, yeah, they don't call it stop and frisk, but they stop and they frisk.
Here's what it's based on.
And here's what this new thing is based on.
This is very serious. Based on a Supreme Court decision of 1958-59 that anybody ever went to law school and passed the bar exam, unlike Hillary Clinton would remember, called Terry against Ohio, written by Chief Justice Earl Warren, 8-1 decision that says that a police officer has the right to stop you on reasonable suspicion if he believes that you may be in the midst of committing a crime, or you have committed a crime, or you're about to commit a crime. Right now, tonight in America, 50 stop and frisks are going on, and they're all constitutional. All right, let's go home.
All right. He said this is based on a 1960 case called Terry versus Ohio, where a Supreme Court judge ruled it constitutional that cops could go in your pockets anytime, anywhere, once they feel you did commit a crime, or once they think you are about to commit a crime, right? Galawan, you ready for me now? All right, pull up that case called Terry versus Ohio.
Terry versus Ohio. Right? In 1968, right, there was a decision by the United States Supreme Court which held that the Fourth Amendment prohibition on unreasonable searches and seizures is not violated when a police officer stops and suspects on the street and frisk him or her without probable cause to arrest. If the police officer has a reasonable suspicion that the person has committed, is committing, or is about to commit a crime, and has a reasonable belief that the person may be armed and presently dangerous.
All right. So this was a Supreme Court ruling in Terry versus Ohio that, okay, you all know in the white man's law everything is based on precedent versus our law that was written thousands of years ago and nothing changes, right? The white man's law is based on precedent, and there's a lot of room for law change and stuff like that, meaning that that's why people study law. So if you have a good lawyer and you in a certain case today, if he could find a case like that 200 years ago, well, not so far back, but, you know, decades ago, where a certain federal judge or Supreme Court made a decision that was favorable to our case, in the courtroom in your case, he could pull up that case and be like, see, this judge, this is the same case, the same scenario. This judge said this man was innocent. Your Honor, my client is also innocent based on these precedents. You get me? So now the ruling in Terry versus Ohio gives the precedents. This was since 1960s. Give the precedents. And what was significant about the 60s? Besides, of course, 1 West I.S.U.P.K. 1969. Besides that, come on.
Like I said, the feed break up a little bit, so I don't think anybody here when they say.
Okay, I'm saying what was so significant about the 60s? Because this court case was, I think it was, the ruling was in the 60s, 1968.
Okay.
What was significant about it?
It's like, yes, sir.
That
was just the year before the emergence of the truth to be on the face of the planet, sir.
That's true. That's true. Something else.
It's like, yes, sir.
Go ahead.
It was coming to the heights of the civil rights and Black Power movement.
It was coming to the heights of the civil rights and the Black Power movement. All right. They established a law for, of course, because civil rights now meant what? Black people or minorities would now be in the same dwelling spaces as white people. And of course, white people do not want black people around. So how can we make these niggas uncomfortable so they don't want to be around? Randomly pull them over, ransack the trunk, go in their pockets, rough them up, strip them down, violate the woman if she there, because you searching for, I believe she have drugs between her legs. Listen, she has drugs between her legs. I believe so. I'm going to find it. You understand? Right? Got one read the part where they said, hold on. Let me say the way yeah. Read the next paragraph where it says for their own protection.
Okay. For their own protection, after a person has been stopped, police may perform a quick surface search on the person's outer clothing for weapons if they have reasonable suspicion that the person stopped is armed.
Right? So you know that's, of course, patting you down. They could check. You have any weapons on you? Isn't that the first thing? Assume the position. Lean forward on the car on the wall. I'm going to just check you for weapons, all right? But of course, them cops rough you up and pull up your pants and ring up your shirt. Right? Go ahead.
Okay. This reasonable suspicion must be based on specific and articulable facts.
Hold on, is articulate or articulable? You're right. Meaning you have to be specifically able to say, I pulled him over because I saw a bag from the bank that was robbed in his hand. They must have specific and articulable facts, meaning tangible facts. Like you saw this on him or you saw him doing that. You got to be able to describe what he was doing exactly that made you think he was doing something unlawful. But of course, what do cops say? He looked suspicious, right? And Shadow had a song, "Poverty is Hell." What he said, the magistrate told the brother when he went to court. There's a famous line in the song when he said he gone in the courtroom and he lost the case. The magistrate say he has a bandit face. Poverty is hell. I said, yo, you better go back and listen to some Shadow. You know? I'm trying to get you some culture. You get the point? Prosecutors say he have a bandit face. You just look like a bandit. You understand? Keep going.
Okay. And not merely upon an officer's hunch.
Right? It was supposed to be you had to have hardcore facts why you pulling these people over. Not just on an officer's hunch. You can't just look at somebody and I just have a feeling they got weed in the car. I have a feeling they just, man, they looked funny. He looked shady. You can't do that. Go ahead.
Okay. This permitted police action has subsequently been referred to in short as a stop and frisk or simply a Terry frisk.
A what frisk?
A Terry frisk.
Right? A Terry frisk. Anybody know what a Terry frisk is?
I don't answer.
Come on.
It was named after the guy who the case was built on.
It was named after the brother who the case was built on. Is that a good guess or you went and looked it up yourself?
Like, yes, sir, Wikipedia.
Give him a hand. That's what you need to do. Be studious. Give him a hand. He's following along and he's going to look the shit up. All right? Read what you found about Mr. Terry, about John W. Terry. Read what you found. You have it?
Cancel. Just put it on the number. Okay, sir.
Go ahead.
Sir, right now, they got the same article, the same word, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the same article, it's saying the Terry standard was later extended to temporary detentions of persons in vehicles, known as traffic stops. See Terry stop for a summary of subsequent jurisprudence. The rationale behind the Supreme Court decision revolves around the understanding that, as the opinion notes, the exclusionary rule has its limitations. The meaning of the rule is to protect persons from unreasonable searches and seizures aimed at gathering evidence, not searches and seizures for other purposes like prevention of crime or personal protection of police officers.
Boy, I'm trying to tell you, if Gary get his way out, brothers who's not any truth in Trinidad is going to be in for a very, very harsh future. Harsh. Come on, Tazwell.
Okay, so I remember back in some time when I was kind of looking for it, but I was coming out that I would, right? The police officers and them wanted to put their hands in their pocket when they ain't supposed to do, but I didn't know better, you know? I like to take a brass, but I get a rough banding, but you know, they ain't supposed to put their hands in their pocket. I would the first thing coming now. Because if they put
their hands in your pockets, right? Yeah, they're supposed to ask you to empty your pockets. Of course, if the frisk is 2 o'clock in the morning, there ain't nobody around and there ain't no lighter, you're done. What you want? What you want? Yeah, I mean, you're done. All right. I believe the original brother's case, he was arrested. Hold on. He was arrested. I believe this case was in Ohio. Right? You found it yet?
I think the most time I just have basically on the case on general, not on the actual story so far.
Say that one more time.
The most of the information is just around the case alone, not the actual story in terms of
read what you have on the case.
A Terry stop in the United States allows the police to briefly detain a person based on reasonable suspicion of involvement in criminal activity. Reasonable suspicion is a lower standard than probable cause, which is needed for arrest. While police stop and search the pedestrian, this is commonly known as stop and frisk. When police stop an automobile, this is known as a traffic stop.
Okay, that's the same thing Tazwell just read. All right, hold on. On the afternoon of October 31st, 1963, John W. Terry and Richard Chilton, 2 black men in their early 30s, were standing on a street in downtown Cleveland, right? In Cleveland, Ohio, that's like in the Midwest, right? A white man approached Terry, and Ohio, I believe those type of areas in the Midwest is very black populated as well. All right. And in the, what do they call that again? I think they call it the Chicago Renaissance. A lot of people from the South migrated up north, you know, with the whole civil rights, and well, before the civil rights, but migrated north with the abolition of slavery. We get the point. And after the 20s, you know, when Industrial Revolution, a lot of people migrated north. That's how you have Harlem. And then the next thing was Chicago. They have the Chicago Renaissance. Just a sidebar. You all remember like, a few weeks ago, I was telling you about the story, 100 years of lynchings. The book. Okay, in that book, there's a story about, I forget, it was a father and son. I forget what they wanted the son for. All right, they wanted the son for sharecropping. It was a whole sharecropping thing, right? the father and the son had land. They also was doing sharecropping for this white man on his land. All right, they had a certain deal where they would give the white man a certain amount of money. The white man would come and get a certain amount of crops. He came and collect a certain amount. Then he came back. And the brother, the father is telling him, listen, I done paid you already. I ain't giving you no more. My family had to eat. The white man came with his brother. They was drunk. The son came out to defend his father and bust a shot in their ass. I think shot the white man's son in his shoulder. He didn't die. But of course, they sped off and left in the buggy, right? The father knows that this means tonight they have to leave because you done shot a white man. So they left. The lynch mob came, couldn't find them, they gone. They came back the next day, they asked the sister, the young girl who's there, what's the situation? What happened? Where they gone? Of course, she really don't know where they gone. They decide to arrest her. They arrest her thinking that word will get back to the father and the mother. I mean, the father and the brother, and they would come turn themselves in. They'll let the girl go free. The girl went into the station. That night, the sheriff and I think 10 or 12 men went downstairs in the basement and took turns raping the sister. Right? The next morning, they gave her some bread and pot liquor and water and sent her walking home. And they said, this is for your troubles. That sister is Captain Mawakwa's grandmother or great-grandmother, literally. You understand? So when somebody tell you about slavery was in the past, tell them, fuck you. That thing still affects my people. And I only know it because sometime I was bringing it out at camp. Mawakwa saw the tape. And it clicked with him because he heard the story in his household. And come to find out, this is Captain Mawakwa's family. You get the point? So that's just a sidebar for just a little thing in your ammunition for your spirit and your soul. Anytime people tell you slavery was in the past, that doesn't affect you today. Even if you can't say it to their face, F you, you better be ready to blaze with all the F you inside it. You get me? It does affect us today. All right? Anyway, so Ohio is one of them places, you know, black people, you know, have settled and congregated, right? So he met this white man. The white man talked to them and walked off, right? Detective Martin McFadden, a white 62-year-old officer on the force, 39 years now, saw them and thought their behaviors were suspicious. A couple minutes later, Terry and Shilton started walking after the white man. When the three men congregated outside a men's store, McFadden decided to act. According to his own police officer, McFadden searched the three men. Even though he had no evidence that a crime was being committed, McFadden found pistols on Terry and Shilton. They were arrested, charged, and convicted of concealed carrying. McFadden told the court he believed the men were casing a job to sticker. At the time, in order to seize someone temporarily and search him, the burden of evidence was on police officers to show probable cause, as laid out in the Fourth Amendment. The Supreme Court had explained that probable cause is a combination of the officer's experience and reasonably trustworthy information. So, of course, from this, you have that case of Terry versus Ohio because the cop had no right to search him. He had no proof he was going to commit a crime. It was just black men that they wanted to oppress. You get me? Stop and frisk started with the illegal frisking of a black man. Keep that in mind. The first stop and frisk was a brother. You get? And that's what they always do to the people they want to oppress. You understand? Now, let me get my scriptures. Give me, what do you want to ask for? First one?
Genesis chapter 3. Give
me the most subtle beast of the field. Give me Revelation. Give me Revelation. Give me Mark of the Beast. Was Revelation 12, 13?
15.
Give me Revelation 13, all right? Father, give me Revelation 13:1 quickly. About 10 minutes to run through this, all right? So now we see where Gary going at. We see his spirit, and I don't know if you all saw his him meeting with all those people from New York. You all saw that? All right, this is him here, of course, you know, with Giuliani, right? This is him here signing a deal with the NYPD. I forget this devil name, but brother, he's known. I think he's the current chief, if I'm not mistaken. Gary's signing away brothers' lives right now. Signing away brothers' lives. This is him here again, Coonan, receiving some award, some plaque. He have the worst smile in the world. It's the most annoying smile. This grin, this little... I could tell he was one. He used to beat him up in school. I could tell that shit. When he go out there, he's shaking hands with this devil who no doubtly hates blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. All right, go ahead. Give me one scripture. Start at 13:1, quick.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
Name of blasphemy, which means a wicked lie. All right. This beast, of course, is the white man, and the 10 heads is his 10 common markets. All right. We're going to skip ahead from that. Give me verse 3.
And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death. And his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast.
Right? One of the heads, they was wounded as if wounded unto death, meaning they had a deadly wound, a wound where, you know, they was close to dying, right? And the whole world wondered after this beast. Which head is this? Go ahead. This is the Roman Empire. This is the fall of Rome, right? Where that head was wounded as if it died. And everybody think the Roman Empire is dead, right? When the Roman Empire is not dead. The Roman Empire is alive and well right here in America. The colors of Rome was always red, white, and blue. Blue was the color of the politicians, the people who were at home. Red was the color of the soldiers, the army going to war. They would wear that. And even when they was coming back from war, they had to change the colors to blue to make everybody know they're coming back in peace. Until one day you had Julius Caesar, when he was crossing the Rubicon, which is a river in Rome, he did not change the color from red to blue. And he came back and started a military takeover. But red and blue and white has always been the colors of the white man. And that's the colors of the American flag. The police have that red and blue, right? And now, of course, Gary Griffith has gone to this beast to get help to oppress blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. All right, keep reading quickly.
And they worship the dragon which gave power unto the beast.
All right, they worship the dragon which gave power unto the beast. Now, is this a literal dragon? Is this a literal beast? Is there any animal on the earth that has 10 heads? This is a vision. So it's breaking down a vision. It's not literal. Right? The whole world wondered about this beast because it fell. And the whole world, what? They worship what?
They worship the dragon which gave power unto the beast.
They worship the dragon which gave power unto the beast. Who is the dragon? Bayav.
So.
A little bit more specific. Makwea. Maikwa. No sweat. It is the white man, but a little bit more specific.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Maka.
The white man's military, sir.
A little more specific.
Yes, sir. I was going to say the same thing, sir. The white man military.
God.
So like I said, the former empire, which is the Greek/old Roman Empire.
Specifically, this is America. The dragon is America. The dragon is the military might of America. It has to be specific. The dragon isn't Putin and Russia. You get the point? The most powerful country on the face of the earth today is America. And America has a dragon that could fly high and breathe fire down, drop bombs on everybody. Right? In the world wars, what would they paint on their planes? They would paint a mouth, like a flying dragon, like a flying beast. That's what a dragon translates into, a flying beast, a huge flying beast, right? Keep going.
And they worship the dragon which gave power unto the beast. And they worship the beast.
Right?
Saying,
go ahead.
Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
Right? And they worship the beast. Because they worship the dragon who gave power to the beast. Saying, who is like this beast? This beast is so magnificent. Who is able to make war with him? You understand why it's America? Because America, home of the free, land of the brave. Who could fight America? Like, listen, there's countries in the Middle East. There's countries in Europe. Australia has lower crime rates. He could have gone anywhere else. Listen, the police in England do not carry guns. The police, the regular street police in England, they call them boppies. They carry a baton. They do not carry gun. They have a special police they call gun police that they have to call in if they need them. But the police in England do not carry guns, right? If he wanted to, fight crime, he could have gone anywhere, but he went to the dragon. Because who could make war with the dragon? The dragon is known to devour the children of Israel. Remember the woman clothed in stars, bringing travailing to bring forth this child? And who was waiting to devour the child? The dragon. Gary Griffith went straight to the dragon. One of the two most notorious police gangs in America is the NYPD and the LAPD. He went to the closest one for help. Keep reading.
And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
Right? And there was great power given unto this beast to speak lies, blasphemies, lies. Israel is the real Jews. You black people is just niggers and spicks and wetbacks. You're slaves, you're good for nothing. You get the point? Gary went and got coached from the NYPD and was able to come back and demean black people. These thugs, these pests, these little punks. Because that's the first step in priming your target. You have to dehumanize before you murder. You have to do it. And that's what he's getting ready to do. You get me? And of course, the beast being Rome is pushing Caesar Borgia, Christianity, God loves everybody, white supremacy, worship the white man. That's the blasphemy. And the power, he's getting the power to push the lies from the dragon, which is America, which embodies Rome. And is pushing the whole philosophy of Rome. You get me? Going. So Slacky, skip me down to verse 7.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints.
So say it again.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints.
Say it one more time.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints.
Oh boy. It was given unto him to make war with the saints. You see it here? You understand? You see it was given unto him? Because he's signing this agreement here to make full war with the saints. Who are the saints? The children of Israel. You understand? The children of Israel are the saints. Keep going.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations.
Right? Power was given this beast over all families, all races, all tongues, all nations. Right? That's why this white man runs the earth the way he does. Keep going.
And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him.
That's why Gary said, no matter where he go, they laugh at us. They laugh at us. Because he's worshiping this beast. He's not trying to solve this problem from a brotherly aspect. You understand? Didn't he say if they don't listen to God, they're going to listen to me? All right. So what? He's greater than God. You know why? Because he's following this beast. Right? He wants to make war with the saints. Go ahead.
And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb.
You right?
Slain from the foundation of the world.
Right? Meaning this. Those people who the Lord didn't call are going to be utterly Christian and take the mark of the beast. Right? In short. All right? So now, skip me to 11.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
Say it again. Read that part again.
And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
Right, another beast coming out of the earth that have two horns like a lamb, but speak like a dragon. Anybody know who that is? All right, I'm gonna give you it in short. Anybody had a hand up? I ain't seeing. All right, this is the white man, right? The white man, his appearance. You all see how Giuliani was smiling in that video and saying, "No, it's good. It's you know, stop and frisk. It's not a bad thing." His appearance is like a lamb. He has two horns like a little lamb. If you see a little lamb, is it dangerous? Nah, they have nursery rhymes. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. Like this lamb is nothing. But when he opened his mouth, what?
He spake as a dragon.
He coming to kill. See how Giuliani is an old dude. He can't, you know, one-on-one. He done. He look harmless. You know what I mean? Look harmless. Look at this picture. Look at the picture here. Where is he? Look at the picture here. Look at the picture here with him and Gary all smiling. Like you would think, you know, and the picture in the back, if you don't know who these two men are, you would think this is some baseball competition or two business partners. You would not know that they're sitting down talking about murdering black people. That is the furthest thing from your mind. I'm sure if you show this video to a Christian, they would say, man, you're crazy. He's trying to help the country. He's trying to end crime. What, you're supporting the criminals? No, I ain't supporting the criminals. I'm supporting Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people who've been robbed and suffering the effects of slavery. Of course, I am against crime. But I'd be a fool to think that poor black people is the reason the country in shambles. I'd be a fool to think that. You get the point? Keep reading quickly.
And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him.
Right? So this is again America exercising the power of Rome. All right, skip me down to keep reading quickly. Go ahead.
and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed.
Right? The first beast was Rome. This beast coming now to bring back the traditions of Rome, to heal his deadly wound and make everybody bow down and worship who? Caesar Borgia, who was what? A Roman. You understand? Pope, his father was who? Pope Alexander VI of Rome. Keep going.
And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
Right? He do make it great wonders. He drop bombs everywhere. Missiles that could, intercontinental ballistic missiles. You fire a missile from Europe to Los Angeles. You get me? Keep going.
And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
Right? He able to do miracles. What? Listen, the things this white man could achieve, brother, it's miraculous, and that's why most people trust and believe in him. You understand? Skip me to verse 15.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast.
And what is the image of the beast? Come on.
White Jesus.
That white Jesus, Caesar Borgia. That's the image. That's how he appears, like a lamb, harmless. He looks harmless. Go ahead.
That the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
How does the image speak? Come on.
Through television, sir, and movies.
Television, movies, propaganda. There's one main platform which that image speaks. Christianity, the Christian church. That image says, God loves everybody. I come in peace. And if you don't love me back, one shot, one kill. One shot, one kill. We'll eradicate them punks. We'll eradicate them pests. Stop and frisk is coming. And in a big, big way. Huge way. He's aligning the whole thing now to fully just, go in and just, just kill. Eventually. All right, go ahead.
And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
Who is the all that he causes? Small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive the mark in their forehead and in their forehand. Who is the all? We read it before.
I guess it. Is it the other nations? All the nations?
When it says verse 7, he had power over all kindreds and nations and tongues. This is not an individual thing. He calls it all that worship him. This is a nation thing. This is a big scale. You get me? And Trinidad, America is telling Trinidad, listen, if you want to eat, you better take this beast. You have to take this mark. If you want our help, or you want our help to solve crime because your country poor, because we made your country poor, no problem. We'll give you help. You have to take this mark. You better put this Christianity in your forehead and in your hand. You better have the mindset to hate the children of Israel and be ready to kill the children of Israel.
And that no man might buy or sell, say that he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
All right, good. No man might buy or sell, save he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. What is that talking about? Come on.
Come here, sir. That's talking about large commerce and trade, sir. You want to do business with us at a large level? You want to make money? You want to eat food? Yeah, you better take that man.
You better sell me Petrotrin.
Yeah.
Tell me the pitch league. You better come and get these, extra security gear and equip your whole country if you want my help. if you want to do trade and don't want to end up like Venezuela, taxes cutting you off, you're going to let me come in there and have my way with you. You understand?
Like I said,
your card?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And usually comes in the forms of referendums and treaties and UN
treaties, all that. Right? When he said the mark, when he said the say if he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, what is the mark?
I was saying so the same mindset and the will to kill and destroy, to oppress the children of Israel. Make sure
that is the mark of the beast. Christianity, white supremacy is the mark of the beast. It ain't no microchip. There was microchips in the year 2000 in your bank card, and everybody had one. That's not the mark of the beast. And it's so stupid when fools talk about that's the mark of the beast. So wait, if I don't have a microchip anyway, no bank card, nothing, and I'm raping 16-year-old girls like R. Kelly or Eddie Long or Hugh Hefner, I'm not a beast. You see how ridiculous that is? Christopher Columbus, who murdered millions of native Indians, didn't have no chip. So he's not a beast. He didn't have the mark of the beast. No, he didn't have it. Right? He didn't have that shit. It's ridiculous. It's Christianity. It's white supremacy. That's the mark of the beast, and that's what Gary just signed up for. Wholehearted. Keep going. All right, and the name of the beast, of course, the Christianity, the reputation of the beast. That's what the name is. All right, his reputation. What does the beast normally do? Kill black people. You understand? Destroy black people. That's when they say his name, meaning his reputation. You will do what he does. You understand? That's his name. Keep going. And the number of his name. What is that?
Like I said,
go ahead.
That would be reference to the 666 men that the only place that the promise.
That's white man has. Okay, keep reading. Verse 18.
Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast.
It's telling you, if you have wisdom, you will be able to count this. Keep going.
To count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man.
For it is the number of men. The number of the beast is the number of a man. A number of a man, meaning how many men out there? Give me a number count of the men. Or how many men out there? The number count of men. Keep going.
And his number is 666.
Right? The number of the beast, which is 666, is the number of men that push the agenda of the beast. Right? There's a number of men that push the agenda of the Most High. What is that number? Come on, who's in the back there? Go ahead. 144,000. The Christians have a song, oh, when the saints go marching home. When the saints, what do they say? Oh, I would like to be in that number. Because that's the number of men that's going to push the agenda of the Lord. 666 is not, if you write 666 somewhere, cursed, and you got to walk around like this, like the exorcist. It's not that. This is the number of men that rule the white man's kingdom, that pushes his agenda. And what is the white man's agenda? Come on, who said?
Yes, I guess to destroy blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics.
To devour the children of Israel. Last two scriptures, Galawan, bear with me. Give me Genesis 3 and give me Ezekiel 34 and 8. Please. Bear with me, Galawan. Salakia. Where you have it? Genesis 3, who have it? With the beast of the field? Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field,
right,
which the Lord power had made.
All right. He was more subtle than any beast of the field. All right. This is your precept for anybody who's thinking this is an actual snake. Give me Ezekiel 34:8, and somebody hold Ezekiel 34:28. Read.
And he said unto the woman, Yea, as God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto
Ezekiel 34:8.
Ezekiel chapter 34 and verse 8. As I live, said the Lord God, surely because my flock became prey.
Right. Who is the flock? Who is the flock of the Lord? Go ahead. 12 tribes of Israel. We the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He calls us his flock. All right, go ahead.
Because my flock became prey, and my flock became meat to every beast of the field.
To every what?
Every beast of the field.
To every beast of the field. My flock became a prey, meaning a victim to every beast of the field. Who are the beasts of the field if we are his flock? Go ahead. Who's on the side there? Makoyak or Maikwa? Go ahead. All the other nations are the beasts of the field, but Genesis said the serpent, the white man, is the most subtle beast of the field. He is the most subtle, which means what? He is the beast. You get the point? That's what he's going to say, Maka?
Yes, sir.
He is the beast. He is he's the best one. Right? Keep reading in verse 8.
Because there was no shepherd, neither did my shepherds search for my flock.
You understand? The reason why these nations could devour us is because our leaders have failed. And they don't care about us. Not one leader is coming out hardcore against Gary Griffith. They're all talking, but which black leader is coming out against it and calling it for what it is? An attack on black people. Which one? Only the Israelite school of UPK. Only the Israelite school of UPK. This is the shepherd. This is the shepherd the Lord sent. And brothers and sisters will have a voice. Even if they're guilty of crime, they will have a voice. Going.
Neither did my shepherds search for my flock. But the shepherds fed themselves.
The shepherds fed themselves. That's why Rowley is making deals and doesn't care about what Gary Griffith does. You think if Pandey was in power, what was the big strong policeman name, the brother who everybody did afraid? Go ahead. Alexander, boy, Xander. You think Xander could have come out and say them punks and portraying, Penal and Davie and, Oropouche and Claxton Bay and Chagonas, them areas where Indians are. You think Xander could have come out and target East Indians like that and Pandey wouldn't have say nothing? They'd have shut the country down because he sees them as his brothers. Our leaders do not. They feed themselves. Keep going.
But the shepherds feed themselves and feed not my flock.
Come on, quickly.
Therefore, ye, O ye shepherds, hear the words of the Lord. Thus said the Lord God.
Hold on. You skip something now. I will deliver. Where you at? Hold on. Nah, Salaki, skip to verse 28. I'm reading down further ahead. Give me verse 28 quickly.
Verse 28. And there shall no more be a prey to the heathen, neither shall the beasts of the land devour them.
That's what's going to happen here. Just on your own, just put in your notes Ezekiel 8, but read 9 and 10, where he said he will send his shepherds to deliver the flock. And he said, we will no longer be a prey to the heathen. Like Gary think he could just make policies and make alliances to successfully kill black people without an answer. He's going to have an answer. And the Lord is going to be that answer. The Lord is going to stand up for black people in a way that you would not imagine. You would not imagine, because of course, the children of Israel are the Lord's portion. And you're not allowed to destroy us the way you think you could destroy us. After you done destroyed us already and expect us to be good, upright citizens without any opportunity, you seek occasion to murder us, not execute justice. That's murder. And you would never do that to any other race of people. None. They would have your badge and your career and possibly your head on a chopping block. You would never say that about the Chinese or the East Indian or the Syrians. But you're free to talk about that about black people because you think black people have no protection. Well, you lie. We're going to make sure black people continuously have protection. Tonight, Trooper Sowapiala, front and center. Galawan, help me out with what I need. Trooper Sowapiala. Front and center, brother. All right, somebody raise the camera up a little bit, or he could just stand back a little bit more. Just stand back. You can lead the camera. Just take 2 steps back towards the chair. All right, this brother is a warrior of warriors, as all the men in the room are. As all of his brothers in the room are. This brother is a warrior of warriors and worthy of being up in these ranks with the rest of the men in here. Brother, you did an excellent test, brother. An excellent test, and you applied it and you learned that. I could tell by the test you was nervous about everything you wrote, but you wrote everything down the right way it's supposed to be, brother. And I hope your brothers follow behind you in solid fashion. From tonight, you will no longer be Trooper Sowapiala. Congratulations, you are now Officer of 50 Sowapiala. You got the oil up? Go ahead, help him out quick. Let's do the prayer and get out of here, all right? All right, Galawan. Only me and you saying it, all right?
Okay.
Yabaraka Yahweh.
Yabaraka Yahweh.
Wayashamarka.
Wayashamarka.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
And Yahweh.
And Yahweh.
Alyaka.
Alyaka.
Wayakanka.
Wayakanka.
Yeshua Yahweh.
Yeshua Yahweh.
And Yahweh.
And Yahweh.
Alyaka.
Alyaka.
Wayashamlaka.
Wayashamlaka.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bahasham.
Bahasham.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapah.
Rapah.
Magun.
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 Say them up.
Sowapiala.
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 Sowapiala. Bahasham Yahweh Shai.
Bahasham Yahweh Shai.
Tawada Ama. Just said us, Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh keep his face to shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless, heal, shield, and protect Officer Sowapiala. You get the point? Congratulations, man. Congratulations on your officership and your hard work. And I know your brothers. Listen, God cannot kill you, brother. Ain't no one shot, one kill with you. The Lord said, touch not mine anointed. You understand? Y'all get a drink. Y'all congratulations again. I'm going to let you all roll, all right? You have a